bodies respond to stress is shaped by the environment we grew up in. As well as explaining how, I'm going to tell you what you can do to change the future health of deprived children here in Birmingham. When we experience stressful events, our immune systems release a product called IL-6 that we usually only see in the blood when we're either ill or injured. It's part of inflammation. Now, in those circumstances, it's really good, but when it's elevated all the time because of stress, it increases our risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and stroke. Children from disadvantaged backgrounds already have higher levels of IL-6 than those brought up in more affluent areas. Even worse, deprivation in childhood can actually permanently change the activity of the genes that control IL-6 secretion, meaning that early poverty can carry on having a negative effect on health even after the child's circumstances have improved. Now, to explain that, I'd like you to meet my eggs. These are adult eggs who now look very similar and are living in identical social environments, as you can see, but they have very different childhoods. This one had a warm and loving upbringing. It was very warm, about 100 degrees. This one, in contrast, had a cold and deprived childhood. If we then expose them to the same stressor, you can see they have very different responses. Our nurtured egg is pretty resilient, didn't release much IL-6 at all, whereas with our deprived egg, we're having a much more dramatic IL-6 response, putting them at risk of a whole variety of diseases. You'll notice I've got a third egg here. Now, he experienced deprivation as well, but as a child, he had somebody who looked out for him, he could look up to, and offered advice. And that's represented by the water here in the jar. Recent research has shown that having a supportive role model during childhood, during deprived childhoods, actually cushions your immune system from the negative effects of poverty. Now, the science is fascinating, but this isn't an abstract problem. In nearby Ladywood, 42% of children are being brought up in poverty, and they can expect to live on average 7 years less than children born in neighbouring Edgbaston. By striving to be a supportive role model, as a teacher, a volunteer, or even as an inspiring science communicator, you really could save a child's life in more ways than one.